All right, now we move down to where the former Bliss Colliery complex used to be. Very close to where we're standing would have been where the shafts were, the 1 and 2 main shafts that would have went down, penetrated all the different various coal seams that are under the ground here, and fed to the breaker. They were about, I think they were about 600 feet deep, and they would have expanded from the shafts, and this went out through, and underground deep mining processes would have been used to bring that coal to the breaker. The breaker, boiler house, all the ancillary buildings and operations that go with that complex were all in this area here. So that former site was retired, buildings torn down, and there was, in I believe the 50s and earlier, the drive went to, it was more economic to use large machinery like drag lines to excavate the coal from the surface. So this area in particular had a fault that created a nice coal reserve close to the surface, so it was stripped out. The area where the shafts were and everything, that was all mined out, and this area was left with large pits and this left behind. Down further to the west was the refuse piles. Refuse piles are consist of this kind of material from the from the settling ponds that would wash the coal. You get a lot of coal fines and a little bit of rock fines. These were settled into some depressed areas or ponds, and the coarse refuse would have been from washing the coal or heavy media to float the coal, and this is the rock that's left behind. There is plenty of carbonaceous content left in it, and our first work on this project involved removing and marketing some of the silt, the fine product here, and because this is very unsuitable for building, but as you can see, there's still some coal left in there. The cogeneration plants in the area can use the low BTU value material, generate electricity, they generate jobs, and they clean up the mess. And then what they have to dispose of is the ash, which is alkaline in nature, and it's mixed with limestone for their stacks and for their emissions. And that comes back to backfill some pits as well and use in reclamation. This site does not have any ash deposited on it, but we did take advantage of the cogeneration facilities to relieve us of some of this unsuitable building material, backfill material, and get the value out of it. After that material was removed, we could begin backfilling. Right here in front of us is ongoing backfill work. The pit was at least 100 feet deep as it remained. Again, taking all the surface water that would normally have run off into a stream somewhere or SP Creek, and just taking it down to the subsurface where it now flows underground amongst the old abandoned workings, the coal workings that have been mined out. So we're in process here of backfilling this pit to a suitable grade that would be used for either a warehouse or manufacturing operations, depending on whoever's interested in coming in here. In the distance is Bliss phases 1 and 2, where this work had been completed. Again, making some building pads. Bliss 3, part of the work is to bring in some utilities to serve those building pads, and also we're working to restore the stream channel down through here, where there was no stream channel for 60 years.
Approximately how much has it cost to reclaim the site, and how long has it taken you to complete the work to date, and when do you hope to finish it up?
Excluding the work of the silt removal and stuff like that, I believe Bliss 1 started around 2014. So we've been at this for at least 6 years so far. There's another 2 years, I would say, and that would include Bliss 4 and 5, that area down there and up there. And we'd be about $8 million into it by then.
And
it's partially funded by the EPA, some EPA grants, and the state DEP also providing some grant funding. And from the AML fund. I'm sorry, I can't forget about the AML pilot fund. That is an assessment per ton of coal that's taxed for the active mine, the current mining operations, and that goes into a fund for reclamation purposes. The pilot funds could be used for these sort of things.
Anything else?